Hey everybody, I'm here today to show you how to use a miter saw. This will be a full tutorial and I will be showing you the process for using a miter saw. Now I will be demonstrating everything within this video on this miter saw. However, you can take these same ideas and these same instructions and apply them to your miter saw because they all operate in a very similar way and they all have very similar features. Let's get right to the tutorial. The first thing that you should do is plug the miter saw in to a power source. Next, you have to determine whether or not you want to use the miter saw's sliding capabilities. Now, some miter saws have the ability to slide just like this. Other miter saws don't have that ability. If your miter saw doesn't have the ability to slide, then the choice has already been made for you because you simply cannot slide it. But if you do have the ability to slide, you have to figure out if you want to use it. If you want to slide the miter saw as you're using it, then make sure that the knob has been turned appropriately to allow you to slide the miter saw. If you want it to be in a stationary position, let's say just like this, all that you have to do is simply turn this, get it into position, turn this and tighten it up just like that. Next, you should determine the angle of the cut that you want to make on the material. Now with this miter saw right here, I can simply turn this and I can push this button to adjust the angle just like that. So figure out the angle that you want to cut the material at and get your miter saw ready to cut it at that angle. Next, you should determine whether or not you want to cut the material at a beveled angle. And if you want to cut the material at a beveled angle, all that you have to do is turn the appropriate knob to allow the bevel on the miter saw to move, and then you can simply turn it to the number of degrees that you want to cut the bevel at, and then tighten the knob. If you do not want a bevel, just make sure that it is at a 0 degree angle with regards to the bevel angle of the miter saw. Alright, now that we have set everything to where we want it to be, it is time to actually cut the material. So what you want to do is you want to get the material and you want to put it in place on the miter saw right here, and you want to get it into the exact position that you want to cut it at. Make sure that the material is nice and balanced, that it's not shaky in any way, and if you have a clamp like this, you're going to want to install that clamp just to hold the material in place and tighten it up, okay? Now, the important thing is to make sure that everything is the way that you want it to be because you don't want to be adjusting anything while you are cutting. When you are ready to actually make the cut, all that you have to do is push the button to actually start the blade of the miter saw. And you're going to let it get up to the full speed, and then you're going to bring the miter saw down to make the cut. And you're going to fully make the cut and raise the blade up, and do not reach for the material to move it out of place until the miter saw has completely stopped spinning. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to push the button, bring the blade up to full speed, cut the material, wait for the blade to stop, and then grab the material. Okay? Here we go. Alright, now that the blade has completely stopped, I'm just going to remove the clamp just like this, and then I can actually just get the material, and as you can see, it is a nice clean cut. And that's basically it. In this video, I've shown you how to use a miter saw. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.